Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to Becoming the Sun with Jowita. This is a podcast where we talk about all the ways we can illuminate our lives and the lives of others through empowering topics such as consciousness, overcoming obstacles, energy healing, honoring our intuition, self-love, metaphysics, and much more. My intention with each episode is to open your heart and mind to new ideas and perspectives to ultimately help you view life from a lens of love rather than fear. Thank you for being here, and let's dive in. Welcome back to Becoming the Sun with Jowita. I'm your host, Jowita, and I'm so happy you're here. If you're new, welcome to my podcast, and thank you for being here. If you're here, that means you are committed to personal growth and becoming the best version of yourself for not only yourself, but for everyone around you. So thank you for being here. Know that your energy is so contagious, and the vibe that you emit is literally your purpose on this planet. We are here to lift each other up. We are lift to collaborate, not compete. We are here to all thrive as a collective whole. And if you are a returning listener, hey, welcome back. Again, extremely happy and grateful that you're here. And yeah, let's dive in today to the topic. I have quite a bit that I want to talk about today, and a lot of it stems from some personal shenanigans that I've been going through. And I want to keep, obviously, this podcast is about my life, but it's also me sharing nuggets of wisdom that I've collected from amazing teachers and amazing people that I look up to. And but I wanted to talk about some things that have been influencing my life lately and just kind of going through it recently. And I'm pretty convinced it had something to do with the solar eclipse. We just had the solar eclipse yesterday on April 8th. So today's April 9th as I'm filming this, or recording this rather. And let me just say, I feel so much relief. Like I feel like so much relief off of my chest, off of my shoulders. So much stress feels like it just seemingly vanished overnight. So I hope that you're feeling that too. I know that the eclipse season or any type of cosmic event can stir up things within us because we are a part of the cosmos, right? We are a part of this universe. So of course we're going to be influenced by the changing energies, and especially such an event like the moon blocking the sun for a moment, then being in alignment for a moment is wild. So some of the things that have been coming up for me the last several weeks have been pretty, I want to say crappy, but not really, because in the midst of the emotions, it sucked. I'm not going to lie. But as I allowed myself to feel, well, first let me elaborate. So I've been feeling a lot of shame, a lot of unworthiness. I've been struggling a lot with my body lately, with my fluctuating weight, and it's so it's growing up in a society. I was born in 85. I think back to all of the conditioning that we had as children and as adolescents. And I know that, we're always evolving, we're always changing. But man, when I think back to all the influence that we had when we were younger about like what it means to have a sexy body, what it means to have a healthy body, what it means to be attractive, and the importance that is placed on our physical appearance above our intellect, above our hearts, above our souls. It's so silly. And I've been working really hard, these last several years to dismantle negative beliefs and negative programs that I have towards my body and towards the way that I look. And obviously I'm 39, so I am noticing some signs of aging, and society also tells me that I can't age. I have to be perpetually young and sexy, and it's not the case, and it's not realistic, and it's not self-love. It's not self-love when you're constantly being bombarded with all this noise and nonsense. So I've been going through kind of those things, in addition to some ongoing turmoil that I have in my personal life with some people that I have decided to, I don't know any other way to describe it, is to ward off temporarily, hopefully, and just the implications of what setting boundaries, the fallout from that. And if you follow me on social media, which I highly encourage you to, my handle on Instagram is at Jowita Klusek. In my stories, I'm very active. I talk about the importance of self-love, the importance of setting boundaries, the importance of um, remembering to put yourself first. I'm an overcoming people pleaser, and it's difficult sometimes because as we're wired to please others and to make others comfortable, that's great, but not when it comes with sacrificing our own needs. So I've been really working through a lot of triggers, tons of triggers recently. And I'm so grateful that I have such a phenomenal support system in my life right now. And I'm so grateful that I am able to be here today and to share my wisdom with you. So before we jump into anything, I want to start with just a quick little heart opening prayer to clear the space, to clear the energetic space within my heart and within yours and within just the mental noise that we may be encountering, because I really want to be honed in, and I invite you to be honed in fully to this conversation. So let's just take a moment, place your hand on your heart if it feels right, or you could just sit peacefully, however you're sitting or standing or walking or doing whatever you're doing. But just take a moment. Let's take a deep breath together, inhaling in and out. And just taking a moment to settle into our body. And this is something that I've been doing pretty often when I find my brain running amok or my thoughts beginning to derail a little bit. I like to bring myself back to my heart, and I like to just remind myself that I am always surrounded by my angels, by my guides, by God, by my ancestors, basically by all non-physical benevolent beings of light. And so I'd like to take a moment to say thank you to your angels, to my angels, to your guides, to my guides. Thank you, all the angels, all the guides that are working in our highest good. Thank you, ancestors, for continuing to guide us every single day, reminding us who the F we are, reminding us of our worth, reminding us of our strength, reminding us why we are here incarnating on this planet, and recognizing that every single day we have choices to make, and every little choice, regardless of how seemingly minuscule. For example, should I take a walk this morning or should I lay in bed? And there's nothing wrong with laying in bed. Rest is absolutely necessary. Absolutely, please. I am a napper extraordinaire. Napping is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. But if we have a choice to do one thing versus another, and we continually make a choice that we feel is maybe not in our best interest, we begin to see that over time as maybe something that's contributing to our sadness or to our depression or to our feeling negative thoughts. And knowing we have every single time, every single moment is an opportunity to switch, to choose another choice, to go a different direction. And that could look like anything. So like I mentioned, it could be taking a walk in the morning or sleeping in. It could be drinking a glass of wine versus making yourself a cup of tea. Again, nothing wrong with wine. I do enjoy a Sauvignon Blanc from time to time, but I also understand the implications of what it feels like to have a couple of glasses of wine and then the next day regretting it because your body's out of balance and everything is misaligned, and your body's trying to rid itself of the toxin, which alcohol is a straight up toxin. But anyway, we glamorize alcohol. That's another whole topic. But you have the choice every single day, right? Do I want to eat a healthy, balanced meal, or do I want to drive through the freaking fast food line because it's quick and convenient? Like, where are my values? What am I valuing? So I really invite all of us to just value our highest good, because when we can go towards our highest good and go towards things that make us better, literally influences everybody around us, because when we feel good, when we are in alignment, when we feel whole and complete and nourished and satisfied with where we are in the moment, and we interact with somebody, that energy is so contagious, just as it is if we're in a negative mindset and we interact with somebody. A lot of us have been conditioned to put up a fake front. So we can easily be fake, and we can be fake, we can be nice, blah, 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 but deep down inside, we feel like crap. So know that as we are evolving on this path to enlightenment and higher consciousness, people are going to be able to see through that eventually. So I really, if you haven't started already, like beginning to delve into being authentic in every single way, I would invite you to do so, because the more we progress on this spiritual journey, and again, we're all collectively going through it. The earth is actually splitting. We already know that it's splitting off into two realms, the higher consciousness and the lower consciousness. If you're listening to this, you are clearly on the higher consciousness path. But every day we have a choice whether we want to be within the high consciousness, within thinking positively, within thinking of uplifting things, have our mindset and focus on good versus evil, on love versus fear. We're already on a positive trajectory. So, but in that process, there are things that will pop up in our lives. And I've had a lot of that recently with the triggers that I began to speak about. So, oh, yeah, triggers, lots of them. And overcoming them is not easy. And I don't have a psychology degree. My degree is in business leadership. But I have taught myself a lot about overcoming and coping and being able to come back to our hearts and come back to ourselves. And I'd like to share some of that advice and those little nuggets today. It's really important to ground ourselves daily and to recognize when we see triggers, and especially in other people. And so I had this experience recently with a person that I'm really close with, and I realized after this incident, I had a major breakdown / breakthrough after this incident, because I recognized after this incident, wow, I was really scared to speak up because I felt like I was going to be rejected. So let me rewind. I had a series of conversations with a person that's really close to in my life, and I felt a little upset about a couple of comments that they had made. And I know already when I become upset by something someone says, I try to go inward and be like, why did that upset me? What's the lesson in this situation? I've been trying to be I used to be so reactive, you guys. I used to be so reactive and so, I would notice that in situations with other people, if they would say something to me that was disrespectful or rude, or I interpreted it in a rude way, I would immediately take offense and either, respond in low consciousness back to them in a not so kind way, or I would ignore it and just, ignore it outwardly, but internalize it inwardly and not have a positive outcome from that situation, because I would take everything to heart and take everything so personally. And what I've really learned and studied immensely is that we are a byproduct of our own perception. So somebody's behavior at you has nothing to do with you. I mean, unless you inflicted pain or you did something to cause pain to this person and they're responding, then yes, you might have some responsibility in that situation. But if someone is just coming at you with negativity from nowhere, it more than likely has nothing to do with you. People are viewing you from their own skewed, distorted lens of how they feel about themselves. So, and social media is an amazing example of that, especially recently. Maybe it's just the feeds that I've been exposed to, but I'll be scrolling through reels and looking at, really positive, uplifting things, whether it's a family, sharing a beautiful moment, or somebody sharing something about their journey or advice or just anything, trying to be funny, trying to be uplifting. The content is positive, right? And I'll open the comments and there'll be wonderful, beautiful comments always, right? But then there's those ones that are just like outwardly, awkwardly negative, and it doesn't fit. And it's like, where did this person why were you triggered by this to go to the extreme, to write something negative, to spew hate or negativity, or just and then when I like click to see more comments, like either people are against them or for them, and it's just like, oh my gosh, why can't we just shut the heck up and let people live their lives and be happy for others? Well, it's because we're all wounded. We all have untended to wounds within our own psyche, and people, the world, the universe is our mirror, and people are literally mirroring to you every single day the things that you need to work on. So, for example, the things that you don't like about somebody, like behaviors or traits, or unfavorable things that you look at someone and you judge them, typically that's what you judge and criticize within yourself. People are our mirror. So when we could take a second, just take a beat to examine, why am I getting triggered in this moment, and recognize that there's a gift. There's a gift in this moment, the gift of self-awareness, and usually self-acceptance and self-love, and loving those parts of us, and learning to love the parts of the us that we don't like in other people need to be loved and tended to with ourselves. So it's wild when you really step out and view this from like a bird's eye view, this whole life experience. Everybody's a teacher. We are both teachers and students simultaneously. We get to choose whether we want to be a good teacher or a bad teacher, and whether we want to be a student, because we can go about our lives with our eyes closed and continuing to believe that everything is happening against us, and people are against you, and the world is collapsing, and everybody's evil. Or you can recognize the truth of the situation, that is all mind-made and not factual, and that no, in fact, we are the captains of our own ship. We are the ones that are creating our life, and we have the influence of our angels and God. Whether you believe in God or source energy or the universe, all of it is benevolent, and all of it is what we are, and all of it is what we have fragments of within ourselves. So it's that choice to like seek that divinity within ourselves, and to be like, how can I respond to this person, not from a constructed place like my mind, not from the construct of my mind, which is stories, which is what happened to me, which is the past, which is projections of the future based on past experiences. Like, our mind is beautiful, but it doesn't always have all the answers. It's the heart. It is the heart that is becoming our all-seeing eye. I follow, oh my goodness, one of my amazing, well, I have to give so much credit to Lilah. She has been my spiritual teacher and my guide. I've gone to her for guidance several times, and she's been absolutely phenomenal. I'll link her information below. She has amazing YouTube videos on what's happening in our planet. She has this incredible video that I refer to often, which is a heart-opening explanation of why we sometimes erupt into tears, crying for no reason, why that is. And her content is just so beautiful. And so I'm going to link it all below. And like I said, I've spoken with her. I've had a couple one-on-one sessions with her, and she has given me immense guidance. We've done a inner child healing session together, a quantum healing session, and a integration of my inner child, a soul retrieval of my inner child. And that whole process was what actually made me start this podcast. During my conversation with her, my very first time talking with her, I had asked her, okay, Lilah, like, what's my purpose? And she responded without hesitation, your purpose is to become the sun. And to become the sun, to me, means to embody light. And to embodying light, we have to acknowledge the darkness that is within us, the darkness that is around us, loving that darkness and seeing what it needs and tending to it and learning from it. and always having our head to the sky, our eyes up, and always allowing ourselves to lean in to the choice of always choosing to become a pillar of light or a conduit of light, a conduit of love. And that's what inspired me to create this podcast. For years, I've been, asking myself, like, okay, what am I supposed to do? What's my purpose? I've done the whole 9 to 5 shenanigans. I've had 13 jobs in my life, starting from being a server back when I was 12 years old. I was a busser at 12 years old, and then a server, and then I worked for a nursing home. I did non-patient care for a nursing home, and then I worked for a tanning salon, a beauty salon. I've worn so many hats. What is it? I've worked for a law firm. I did some writing briefly in college for a music entertainment label in LA when I was going to school, when I was in college. Worked for insurance, worked for an airline. I was a flight attendant. I've, pretty much worn a lot of hats in this life. And for the longest time, I beat myself up a lot because you're supposed to have a long tenure. You're supposed to have a long track record with each company because it shows that you're reliable and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. I need to bounce around. Not that I needed to bounce around, but I just always had an urge. Like when I felt the urge to leave, I was gone because I always followed my heart. There was one particular job, which I'm so grateful for, in my early to mid 20s, which was like my very first big girl job. And it taught me so much about the corporate world and about corruption within the corporate world and deceit and just malicious activities. And it really was such a gift for me because prior to that, I was very naive and very trusting and would work my butt off for anyone, for any company, because I thought that was, I needed to blood, sweat, and tears to make a paycheck. And then it was that job that was the turning point for me that was like, man, these corporations like really don't care about you. Like you could put in so much work and you could put in your blood, sweat, and tears and your heart and your soul. And to them, you're just seen as a replaceable cog in a machine that they could just the next day replace. So it really kind of helped me recognize I want to be my own leader, and I also want to lead others in a way that is wholesome. And that's what I'm on. That's the path that I'm on right now. Don't exactly know how it's going to manifest in real life, but that's my intention with my life moving forward is I want to be a light for others. I want to set a positive example, and I want to be able to make people realize how much love they have within them and how we are all conduits of love. We were all made by God. You're not here on accident. You belong here. That's another thing that I've been struggling with recently is feeling like I belong. Even when I'm out in public, sometimes I never want to be in anyone's way, and I always want to make sure that essentially I'm not in the way. That's always the phrase that pops in my head of like, I don't want to be a bother. I don't want to be in the way. And just recently I had to coach myself to do something, and I had to tell myself, Jowita, you belong here. You are here for a reason. You belong here. You're safe. You're allowed to express yourself. You're allowed to speak up. Just because everyone else is maybe being fake and not living authentically doesn't mean you have to follow suit. You could be yourself. You could be quirky. And those who judge you or have something negative to say while you're just trying to shine your light, who cares what they have to say? If somebody's going out of their way to say something rude to you or be unkind to you, like, please understand that they have so much internal stuff going on and it's none of your business, and that has nothing to do with you. So keep shining your light every single day. Recognize that you are so incredible. And if you don't have anyone to talk to, please message me. Please message me. You can email me at xjowita@gmail.com. That is my email address. Or you can connect with me on Instagram at Jowita Klusek. And let's chat, because I never want anyone to feel like they're alone or they don't have the resources to speak to somebody. And I invite you to do that and follow me on my social. I only have Instagram. I do have a Facebook, but I very seldomly check it. I'm more so active on my Instagram. So please follow me and let's illuminate this world together, because the world needs bright, beautiful souls such as yourself. And the world needs more collaboration, less competition, more love, less fear. And I just am really grateful that you are here with me. So I want to do something else that I haven't yet done on this podcast. I want to pull a card, an oracle card. This is from the Rebecca Campbell Starseed Oracle. And I love this one so much. So I just want to do a live card pull. I want to do just one card. So let me tune in to the collective. Angels and guides, the highest truth and compassion, please give me a card that is for the highest good and truth for the collective in this moment. Okay, I got it. I remember. Soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. Oh God, this is such a good card. Oh my God, I'm so excited. All right, I'm going to read the description. So the card is titled, I Remember. This is the explanation. There was a moment before you were born when you chose the conditions of the life you're living right now, when you plotted out these exact moments along the timeline of your life. We live in a world of free will, and therefore these moments become our destiny only through saying yes. The fated life is the one you were born into. The destiny life is the one our soul chooses, and it takes courage and faith. Woo! If you pull this card, it's because you're likely now face to face with the choice to follow the destiny life over the fated life, to trust the path of your soul that is calling you forward, and to remember that this moment was prearranged on your life's timeline. You may find yourself at a crossroads, at a moment when you're being called to make a decision, to keep walking perfectly laid out path before you, or to choose the one less traveled. You may be facing a change of career, a new relationship, a difficult decision, or something else that requires courage and faith. You're being invited to remember your soul's greater plan and to surrender to it. When you're confronted with a path that's undefined, it's normal for doubt to rear its head. In fact, this is a certain sign that you're facing your soul's greater plan. Every hero in his or her life journey comes eye to eye with doubt. The only way around it is through it. It's all a part of the larger plan. And the star seed soul inquiry, self-inquiry to ask yourself is, what are you being called to do to surrender to your soul's plan? Oh, isn't that beautiful? So are you being called to release certain relationships that you're outgrowing that are no longer feeling resonant in your heart space? Are you being asked to step out of your shell just a little bit, just to dip your toe into something that is calling you forward? Remember, every single day we are given an opportunity to listen to our hearts. So what is your heart telling you today? What is the thing that you think about every single day that lights you up and gives you so much energy? What is that? For me, it is these podcasts. For me, it is sharing uplifting content on my social media platforms. For me, it's to be kind in any way that I can be kind. And some days it's to cry. Some days it's to hold myself. Some days it's to do some gentle stretches and to read some inspirational content. Some days it's to go out and hike 6 miles. It always depends. So following your heart every single day will lead you on your soul's purpose, and little by little, we're getting to where we're going, and it's an honor to be on this path with you. And I thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope that you realize that you have so much magic within you, and I'm here to watch it blossom. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, follow me on Instagram at Jowita Klusek. And message me if you have any questions, if you're dealing with something that you want a perspective on. I'm here for you. And again, thank you for working on yourself, because the more that we work on ourselves and we become better and brighter individuals, the more that light is just going to cascade onto every single person and every single thing around us to make this world a little bit brighter. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a beautiful day.